Okay, welcome everyone. This is Breathe to Heal. I've got my good friend Alex de Silva on with us. You might have seen his amazing breath work that he did with us the other night, shamanic breathing, and his beautiful wife and singing. And oh my God, it was a tremendous event. So I can't wait to have you back on for that. But I'm excited for today. We're going to talk all about shamanism. We're going to talk about breath work. We are going to talk about Alex's past. He's from Brazil. There's a lot of big story that Alex has been through to really get him to where he is now. And I'm so inspired by Alex of what he does, how he helps people every day. He's out there putting videos up, giving great information, knowledge and wisdom. So we really are in for a treat today, everyone. So thank you, Alex, for joining me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I love the intro. That was brilliant. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Yeah,
no worries.
Really appreciate it.
So tell us, for those people that don't know you, haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so I was born in Brazil. I came to the UK when I was 11 years old, and my story is interesting. Is of experience for sure. As I said, I grew up in Brazil, grew up in a huge family, never really knew my dad until I was about 32. I never actually knew he existed. I thought he had died.
Wow.
And so had all of this. Yeah, it was interesting because I always knew there was something there. There was like this emptiness inside me, this just need to know. I knew he was there, but for some bizarre reason, my mum chose not to tell me. And it was kept this secret, and even my family didn't know, by the way. So it wasn't this thing where my family all knew, and no one knew. She was the only person that knew he existed. Yeah, and I'll share the story a little bit later.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and I understand today, the reasons why she made the decisions that she's made, and it's okay. We've made peace with it, and we've got a good relationship today, thankfully. But my story, I always say this at the beginning. I think when the Creator made me, I think he overspilt the optimism cup a little bit. Maybe he got distracted by one of the angels, and he just was like, "Oh shit, I poured too much." when I came down, oh man, I've always, as you know me, and this is pretty much my permanent face. So this is always smiling, always laughing. But the truth behind that is, I learned to use that as a mask. I learned to use that as a mask. That became my coping mechanism, my number one mask mainly. And the reason being, growing up, I always felt different. And I've heard people say this, and we do. There is some of us, we kind of fit into the mold, into where we need to be. But with me, I always felt different. Even today, like I always felt very different from my family, very different from the people around me. And but grew up happy, grew up in my grandmother's house. As I said, my mum, I didn't know my dad, so we grew up in her home, and grew up in a very loving family. We were poor. It wasn't even like tithering middle class. We were poor, really? Poor, to the point where I was talking to my kids a couple of months ago. Actually, this was last year. We were meant to go to Brazil before this whole, thing happened. And they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to see all the places that you lived, like going around, seeing all your old homes."
No, you don't.
No, this is it. No, but you know what? The thing is, I almost burst into tears because I sat for a minute and said, "Oh, none of it exists." They're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's all been torn down." I said, "We were so poor. We used to live in like wooden houses." So in Brazil, homes, if it's not like a nice home, it's worth nothing. So they often just buy the land, tear it down, and build something else. This is it. Yeah. So I said to them, I said, "Yeah, other than a house that I never really lived in, which is my grandparents' home, which we bought for them. None of the other houses exist. I think the last time I was there, when my grandmother passed away, the last home I lived in was still standing, but I think they turned it, or they were going to turn it into a restaurant or something like that. So it's all completely gone.
How
But the thing
mad.
is, the memories are still there. The place is still there. So, it's one of these things that one day, when we can, I'll definitely want to take them. But so, that was kind of my beginnings. And I struggled a lot with my emotions. I struggled to kind of understand what was going on for me. I was very, not hypersensitive, but I experienced my emotions, and I, feeling different and not really understanding how to cope with things, I try to share things, and I try to be open and honest and vulnerable. And unfortunately, I think the conditioning that families go through, I was told, just don't, stop being silly, like, stop being so sensitive, stop crying, why are you crying all the time, blah blah. And that just became a thing. As that became a thing, fast forward, I came to the UK, and lost this connection with my grandmother. My grandmother is and always will be my mum. She is a phenomenal human being. She passed a few years ago, and she taught me so many incredible lessons. She was very spiritual, very religious, but not from a sense of Bible bashing or
Yeah, yeah,
hitting you over the head. She was
yeah.
she was just a very spiritual being.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would meditate, she would read her Bible, she would um she was constantly learning, growing, developing. The three things I learned now, in life, that our purpose to life is to learn, grow, develop. And she was already teaching me that. She was one of my guides, one of my human guides. She was here, and she gave me this base, of life, that thankfully saw me through, because otherwise I wouldn't be here today. And I'll get to that. So my emotional struggle then led me to struggle even further when I got taken, when I got brought into the UK. And I had some issues around food. I struggled with addiction for years, which I'll get to. I always say I'm blessed. I was addicted to everything. And I, thankfully, some very hard things I managed to kind of stay away from. But yeah, for me, the first thing started with food, and that was the way I found my healing to start with. And I kind of found that peace within, was when I couldn't share anything with anyone, or when I came here, I couldn't speak a word of English, and I got bullied and beaten up, and all sorts of awful things. And because I couldn't share this with my family, coming from that place of fear, scarcity, poverty, they were always, oh, we have to be very careful. You can't say anything. It was always that place of, you couldn't stand up for yourself. And I grew up with that. But again, that overflow cup always used to say to me, no, this isn't right. I always knew, I was very self aware, and always knew that the wrong things that were happening to me, they weren't right. And I've been mentally, physically, sexually abused, and I've experienced, things that I was really embarrassed and ashamed of, things that I blocked out. The kind of the mental and physical abuse is something that, I sort of experienced even as I was growing up. The sexual abuse, I guess I tried to sort of, you know, put it to the back of my mind. I locked it up and just didn't
Yeah.
want to look at it
Tough.
at all. It was really, really tough. And not really understanding it as well. I even shared this about a month ago. I was actually talking about, I think it was the end of the healing of it. I was talking through with, with one of my mentors and my therapist as well, and said to her, wow, you know what, this is hard to talk about, because that shame and that guilt and that embarrassment comes up. And that little boy who was like not really knowing what was going on, to me, I kind of just thought it was just, people experimenting. That's how,
Yeah, yeah.
that's how things like that often get positioned,
Yeah, of
and it
course.
was tough. So, coming here, and then going into school and getting bullied, and and not being able to do anything about it, coming home and actually getting a beating for sticking up for myself. The messaging I was receiving all the time was, just don't do anything, like, just
Yeah.
shut up, don't, just put up with it, basically, which is what a lot of people get told. And often it gets ignored, because our parents and families and people who are around us at the time, if if they're coming from a place of insecurity and fear, and their own traumas and mental health issues, they're just going to pass down what they know, and that just gets passed down and passed down and passed down. And I understand it today, and we call it transgenerational trauma, which, is something that, we can trace this back lineages. We can trace this back, as far as we want, as far as, as what we understand today. So with that, when I came here, I started to really struggle, with connecting with people, because I've always been a very friendly person. I always just, I welcome everybody with open arms.
Yeah,
always
big smile.
yeah, this is it. So I've always been that way, and people would always look at me like I was strange and I was a bit weird. But I kind of thought that was just normal, because I did have a little clique. Growing up in Brazil, I had this little clique of friends, very small friends who I actually grew up with from nappies until the day I left. So that was kind of my circle, and coming here was all very different. And with that, I started to develop, eating disorder. I would, eat in secret. I would eat in secret, and that would be my, my coping mechanism. That would be what made me feel better about myself. And I also understand that I was numbing, because I couldn't release any of those emotions. I couldn't release any of that trauma. And every time I tried to talk about it, I would either get, shamed or embarrassed by it, or I would be told to just block it. So I that then developed, pushed forward into teen years. I then started to become very inquisitive with girls, and and with women, and became very sexually active. That was another release. I then started to become addicted to relationships and sex. And as pushed teenage years, I then got
I've been
addicted
there.
yeah, and then just got, but the thing is, a lot of this stuff, we just see it as, well, it's just teenage years, it's just what we go through. And for some people, it is. For some people, we just go through the motions, and it just is what it is. But for me, it was different, because where some of my friends could go, yeah, I'm all right now, this is enough, I will go, well, no, it's not enough, I want more. I have this addiction of more. Like, I have to always have more and more and more, and that then developed. If I had, the opportunity to channel that in a different way, then obviously, which is what I do today, the results are so much different. The rewards are so much greater. But for me, I was channeling that in a negative way, and as we know, fear is the lowest level of vibration. So
Yeah,
when so when I'm constantly in fear, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, for me, that was what I turned to. And I never forget, I came home, I was being bullied in school, and didn't really know what to do about it. And I was toying whether to stick up for myself, or whether to just, eventually it will go. And that, that kind of mentality. And I was heartbroken, man. I came home, bought myself a huge pack of Maryland cookies, hid myself in the toilet, and I was just eating them, crying, just self-comforting. Yeah, and just comforting myself with, with these biscuits. But what happened after that is I forgot to lock the door. So my auntie comes in, bursting to go to the toilet. She opens the toilet door, and there was me, like, munching on these cookies. Instead of, which again, in hindsight, I understand she was just doing, in the immediate moment, she, instead of saying, "Are you okay? Like, what the hell are you doing eating cookies in the toilet?" Right? Yeah, right. She actually,
would be the normal answer.
This is it, right? So instead, she went mental, and she embarrassed me and shamed me, made me feel like crap. And on top of that, when my family then came home, and my mum, she then told them all, and then they all did exactly the same thing. So the constant
that energy on you,
exactly,
wow,
of rejection, not being good enough, you can't do anything right, and you're such an embarrassment. You're not. And this, I'm a little boy, and like, I'm 12 by this point, and fast forward, as I said, I got involved with girls, and drinking, and I used to wear this badge of honor that I could, go out and drink people under the table, as we usually do. I had a lot of fun in my life, don't get me wrong. But what happened, because I channeled that so much, and I learned that that is a coping mechanism for me, my brain just went, sweet. So this is what we're going to do if you feel this way. And because I kept rewarding that, my brain just kept wanting more and more and more of it. So every time I was in a sticky situation, that's what I'll do. If I was ever in a happy place, well, that's what I'll do. And that then became my life. I had a son at 17, which for me was actually a lifesaver, because I was going to go to uni, and I was always been a very, very smart kid. And yeah, I was going to go off to uni and, and no doubt probably drink myself to death. So thank God that didn't happen, because he
Yeah.
actually gave me a sense of purpose, because that's one of the things, again, I never had. And even as a child, as a teenager, I used to think to myself, why the hell am I here? Why am I here? Like, this to me, it seems pointless. Why the hell am I on earth? Always used to question these things, but never really understanding why, what's my purpose. So I had my son, and that gave me a purpose, that gave me something to strive for. My family completely, wiped their hands off of me. My mum was very supportive, thankfully. And the rest of them, although they were supportive, they were very against, obviously, a 17-year-old kid, getting a girl pregnant, having a child at that age. They wanted and they expected more of me. And they just thought I was going to be this failure. They literally, I kid you not, they labeled me as this failure. The same auntie that caught me in that toilet said to me, I can see you. This is to me as a teenager. She said, I can see you at 35. Because I was quite short back then when I was about 12. It took me a little while to grow. And so I grew outwards. I was very chubby and, and very insecure. And she said to me, she goes, I can imagine you being short, fat, watching Sports Center or whatever it is, like watching football on TV with a massive pizza and a can of beer on one of those sports chairs. This is how she described me as 35. Far from the truth. Thankfully, far from the truth. But little things like that. Yeah, but what I didn't realize is, even then, the people that I had around me, the people that I looked up to, basically just wiped their hands off of me, And so for me, one of the things I've always been is ambitious. I've always had this ambition, this drive, this passion to succeed, And I remember I was talking to my mum actually yesterday, and I said to her, God, I remember like us growing up, and we grew up so poor. And I remember thinking to myself when I was little, I remember having this visualization of being on TV or being famous, you know what I mean? Either an actor or like a TV presenter or a singer. I used to love singing. Like they were like the three things to me, right? So they were like the three things. And I remember just saying, like, one day I'm going to buy my mum a house. I'm going to buy her a house, and I'm going to get this family out of this place, of poverty and, in scarcity. And so when I had my son at 17 and my family basically just went, you're on your own, I basically stuck my finger up to the world and went, I'll show you. And I did. I worked really, really hard and got myself into a phenomenal position. But with that, because I never looked after my well-being, because I never looked at my traumas, my emotions, the things that were being stored in my body, I struggled. I would have these massive ups, these huge downs. And throughout my life, man, I tried to commit suicide, a number of times. And I just wanted to keep checking out. Because again, I kept saying, like, why am I here? What is the purpose? Am I just here to struggle? Because I don't want to do that. Why the hell am I on this planet? And
you had to struggle for your purpose now.
100%. Yeah. And I understand that today. But back then,
oh my God, totally different story. It seems like what the world's against you. Oof.
This is it. Yeah. And I was in that victim mindset of not really seeing the bigger picture. And when you don't have people around you that show you the bigger picture, you just see what you see. You just see what you see. You can't see anything else outside of that. This is it. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're being attacked 360 degrees as well.
100%. Yeah. And the thing is, because of the way I was then vibrating, my energy system was so low. I was just attracting like for like. So all my relationships were the same. I went from long-term relationship to long-term relationship, trying to find the one. And I was basically just in these relationships where I was trying to save them. They were trying to control me. I was trying to control them. They were trying to save me. And it was that, it became very toxic. And with me, I used to have this little, fuck it button, and used to just self-sabotage with everything, and I've misbehaved, I cheated. I've done all sorts of really awful things as well in reaction to what was going on for me. And I understand that I used to blame everybody else for my problems. Oh, it's her, she's too clingy. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, my mum's a pain, or my aunties, or my uncles, and my job is crap, and oh, my boss is, won't get off my back. So everything was an
blame,
excuse.
blame.
Exactly. I took no accountability and no responsibility for me. But what I did is, instead of facing up, what I did is I drank myself numb and just went about life and just thought, well, this is what's going to be. And I've had these like level of successes, and every time I failed, I don't like the word failing, but I use it for language, is I used to see myself as failing all the time. Bought my first property at 20, 21, and then sold it. Could have bought another one, ended up spanking the money on another relationship when had nothing to show for it other than actually from a financial perspective. But ended up having my daughter, and and again, that drove me. So my kids drove me to this level of success. And in the background, I was still depressed, anxious, stressed. I wanted to kill myself, and I didn't want to be here. And there were times, as I said, that I tried. But the worst thing of this, the last time I tried to commit suicide, I never forget, I came out of another relationship, another long-term relationship. And I remember being at home, and I had this incredible job. I was being paid, a hell of a lot of money. And I remember just coming home and just having this bottle of wine and these sleeping pills. I hid the sleeping pills from my mum. I was staying at my mum's house. And I remember just going into my room and just playing some music. And I just remember just saying, you know what, I'm done. I've had enough. I can't keep doing this. I cannot keep doing this. And this was the third time. And I remember just downing this bottle of wine, and I remember pouring these sleeping pills on a bed, and I just went, oh, how much should I take? And I just went, fuck it, I'll take them all. So I just started handfulling them.
Bloody hell.
Putting them in my mouth and just drinking this bottle of wine. And because I thought, well, that's going to work, hopefully, with a bottle of wine as well. And fell asleep. Just fell asleep, put some music on, cried myself to sleep. And then my alarm goes off the next day. So there was a level of release of like, oh, thank God that didn't happen. Yeah. But at the same time, I was like, fuck, you can't even do that successfully. You can't even kill yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And it was always that, and that for me just made things worse. In experiencing rejection time and time again with life and everything else that was going on, it just got worse. I then got introduced to drugs. Never did drugs. I always, there were periods in my life where I loved sports, and, I did mixed martial arts for years. I got to the point where I always got to these points of greatness, of actually doing really, really well. And I listened and then stopped. I'd either listen to someone, take somebody else's advice, or my own insecurity, my own procrastination pulls me away from it. And, I was, getting to the point where I was moving from amateur to semi-professional, and I was going to go into pro. And that went downhill, and I chose drinking and women, above that. And same thing with my career. Got to the point where I self-sabotaged that relationship as well with my daughter's mum. Our relationship broke, and I was heartbroken, man. A lot of things happened in that relationship as well, which completely broke my heart. And that's when I found cocaine, and it became my next relationship for the next 10 years.
I've been there too.
yeah. And it became,
my God, my journey with cocaine, my God. I used to wake up in the morning and be like, right, I need a line. Go to bed, need a line. And I'd be sneaking off in work, going to the toilet and having a line. And I was just, horrible drug.
Yeah. And this is it. And I was the kind of person that I would look down on people before. The worst I've ever done is like smoke a bit of a spliff, but I was more of a drinker and a smoker. Okay. And I remember looking down on people, just saying, you're a fucking scumbag if you do any kind of drugs. You know what I mean? Like anything above a spliff, you're like, you're a fucking scumbag. And then I ended up that person. I ended up that person who, as you described, who would do a line in the morning to go to work, and and there were times when I would do it at work. And then if there were times, or if I could hold someone hostage to come and party with me, which I often could.
Me too.
Yeah, and this is it. Yeah, so that's what I do. I was like, literally hold someone hostage. Come on, it'll be a great idea. You'll be home by 12.
I'm so glad me and you weren't together then, because we would have been in trouble. Because I used to do exactly the same. Oh my God! I remember one night we was out and I was just kidnapped about 5 people. I had a lot of money around me after my accident. And I just used to take people out. I used to buy all the drugs just to keep people, just to keep people with me, so I weren't sniffing on my own, and I didn't feel bad about myself. Come on, it's right down where I've got loads. This
is it. And this is it. I became the, and that's one of the things I always, I guess, craved, was to be seen, and to be heard, and because I always felt like I was never seen or heard. So I tried to find that in whatever way possible. And I did that with people who also wanted the same thing. So I was like, well, come on, let's go party then, and we can all be seen together. We can all, be heard, but from a different perspective. Emotionally, I was still in pain. I was still struggling. I was still suffering. And, and it got to the point for me. I never forget the warning where one of my bosses said to me, just be very careful as you start to make this amount of money, that you don't develop a drug habit and you don't end up doing this on your own. And I remember just going, I think said to him, no, mate, don't be silly. Like, this will never happen to me. I've got kids, I've got a family. Like, I will never do that kind of stuff.
And 6 months. 6 months later.
And that was me. And I kid you not, I went from doing a couple of lines at a party to all of a sudden then just buying this stuff every week, and then it became every weekend, and then it became every week, and and it went from there. And dude, the amount of times I hit rock bottom is insane. Every single time, and every relationship was no different after that. I had 2 long-term relationships. One of them, we were just doing it together all the time, and we became very toxic in the end, which is a real shame. And again, because of who I was then and what I had to experience, I mistreated this person, and the same, with the next relationship as well. And it was awful, man, because it's not my personality. I always saw my grandparents, because they met, my grandmother was like 18 or 17. My granddad was 18. They got married by the time he was 19. She was 18. So, and they spent the rest of their lives together. They had 13 kids. 13 kids in complete poverty. And when they, when my granddad passed away, my grandmother died of a broken heart. That was it. They were together for all that time. And the doctor said there's nothing wrong with her. But this is very common of, older people together for this long. She had a heart attack, and this is it. And then she was gone. She couldn't be without him. And so I always saw that, and I've always wanted that. Always wanted that in my life. I always wanted to find that person that I could spend, just my life with, and be able to share experiences, and and grow a family, and create, and just build something beautiful. That vision that I always had as that little boy, of just not. Back then it was about the materialism and getting away from my current situation, but now I know that there is more to it. And dude, it got worse from that. I just kept using, and the person that said he'll never use ended up using everything other than, I never injected myself or smoked a pipe. That was the only 2 things. But I do say, and I say this with hand on heart, that if there was people around me that were doing it, I would have done it. I would have done it. There is no question. And I know that for a fact, because I always use this example. I was in a nightclub. I'd already been drinking and sniffing for God knows how long. And I must have taken pills as well. I don't even know by this point. And this girl who was with in our circle, she was spraying something in everybody else's mouth. And she just came up to me and said, "Do you want some?" And I went, "Yeah." Didn't even question it. Didn't even ask what it was. I just said, "Yeah, that's fine." She literally sprayed this thing in my mouth. I inhaled it. I was already high, so probably just went higher, and just ended up partying the night away. But as always, we'll go home and feel suicidal and question life and why the hell am I here? And that negative side, that low energy will go, just fucking kill yourself. You're a piece of shit. You're nothing. Why are you even here? Look, you're doing this again. My kids weren't living with me. I would see them at the weekend. What would they think? What would your parents think? Like all of this messaging constantly running around my head.
Yeah.
And dude, it got to the point where I was like this in my life. My Facebook life looked phenomenal. How I would portray myself to people. People were like, yeah, oh my God, you got such an amazing life, going to all these amazing places, and it's brilliant. I was winning awards at work, and I was the top, one of the top guys there, walking around like I'm fucking Billy Big Bollocks. But actually, I wasn't. I was this broken little boy that just wanted to be seen or heard. That was it. I just wanted to be seen. I just wanted to be heard. And I remember saying this before. I just wanted somebody to love me. I just wanted somebody to give me a hug and just to go, everything is going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually it got so bad that I knew killing myself was not going to work. No. I didn't know why, but it wasn't going to work. So I just thought, fuck it. I'll just drink and drug myself till I have an overdose. And I did. I had my first overdose, ended up in hospital, had fucking masks and all sorts of stuff on me. And, my partner at the time, she wouldn't even come in a room. She was so embarrassed and so ashamed that she wouldn't even come in a room. My best friend was there with me. And I remember I couldn't even speak, and I was having to text him, and I was mortified. I was just heartbroken, because of it's that guilt, shame, embarrassment, remorse every time. And I remember promising and saying, okay, look, I'll stop. I won't do this again, and I loved the person at the time, but I couldn't. I put it to bed for about 6 months, a year. And that thing just came up again, and I got triggered, and I held her brother hostage because he was drinking and using. I thought, oh, actually, perfect person to do it with, because he'd go out and have a party. He was a bit younger than me. He was going through that phase where, he was enjoying life. So I went, right, I'll go out with him now. And he welcomed me. So I was like, brilliant. So me, him, and his mates, we'd go out pretty much every weekend, and just get absolutely smashed. And she wouldn't question me because I was with him. So she knew I'll be safe. She knew I was okay and everything will be fine. But what happened is I take it too far, and I took it too far again. And then she said to me, goes, if I catch you, or if I find out you're doing this again, I said, we're done. And I kid you not, we had an argument. Again, me being, just me going through my experience, I ended up, just being a bit naughty. She called me out. We ended up having an argument. And instead of coming home and trying to make things up, what I did is I thought it would be a fucking brilliant idea to go out on a Friday night and not come back until Sunday morning. So I thought, well, yeah, that's going to be a great idea because I'm staying at my mum's. Do you know what I mean? And she won't know. It'll be fine. Mate, I went off. I went on this binge. I went off on this absolute binge, and of course, ended up having another overdose. Thank God, the person that was with me, or the people that were with me, one guy in particular stayed with me, and something happened to me that I just overcame. I was absolutely fine. But I remember in that moment saying, please take me. And I knew that I had taken so much. And by this point, it was coke, alcohol. I think it was even ketamine. I don't even know if it was ketamine or something. I don't even remember. But I remember taking so much of this stuff. I couldn't even shove it in my nose anymore. And that's how bad it was. And I remember then, I was about to go home, and I just collapsed. And, this dude stayed with me. And I remember just going, please take me now. Like, please take me this time. Like, don't let me stay here. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
I know. The creator was like, you've got work to do, boy. You've got work to do.
This is the thing. I was like, come on, enough. Like, please stop this now. And no, they fixed me. And, I went home, and I had to dance the dance and face the consequences, and I did, and that relationship fell apart. But I carried on. And this is the thing. I am determined. I am all in or all out, and I was determined to see this through. To see this through to the end. Something was going to fucking take me, and I didn't care what it was. So this is the thing I want people to understand. listen to what I'm saying. I wasn't living to live. I was living to die. So my goal was, I'm going to do whatever it takes to kill myself. I will do whatever it takes for this to end because I'm done. I checked out.
Energy.
Checked out. Yeah. Checked out. And the energy was like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, this will be fine. You'll be okay this time. And I kid you not, man. I remember towards the end, I remember one day, being in I was so embarrassed and ashamed to ever do anything inside my parents' house. And I remember being they've got like this drive because it's a semi-detached. I remember being in this drive and trying to key as much as I could in there, until it finished. And I see these things now as, wow, I was definitely being looked after. Because as I was doing it, this wind, there was no wind, just blew the whole thing off. And I was like, fuck, I was fuming. I kid you not. I turned the lamp on my phone and I'm trying to search for it. Like, what I'm going to do, sniff it off the ground. And I probably would have. Thank God I didn't find any of it. And I just went to bed remorseful. I was pissed off. I was angry that I ended up wasting, all of this stuff. And eventually I knew that there was a problem, man. Because I came forward to my parents when I disappeared that time. And I said to my mum, I had to come forward and say, I've got, I've been drinking a lot, I've got an issue. And I remember my mum saying to me, like, why don't you stop? And I said, Mum, I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I got into this cycle and I just didn't know how to jump off. Do you know what I mean?
The downward spiral.
Yeah, and I'd hit that downer so many times. I was just going further and further down. And then I remember, dicking about on a dating app, because that was another thing. I could date and do whatever I want. I'm single now, so I can do whatever I want with my life now. And I thought, I was going to sell my house, and I bought this place. And this is before then. I remember being in my room in my parents' house, and I'm, pissing about on this dating app and matched with Lucy. And and I was like, oh wow, she's all right. So this should be interesting. And we matched, we connected, and she's like, oh, I want to, should we just talk on the phone, like get off the app? And I was actually, I was getting towards the end of it. And I realized I was coming towards the end of that life. And I said, yeah, let's go. I was going to delete all these apps anyway, so we did. And I ended up connecting with her, and she ended up telling me her story, what she's been through, and then she was in recovery. And that's how I started to get better. I came into recovery, found, a 12-step program, and just kind of stayed in it. It helped me. But fast forward, I didn't get this stuff to start with. I bounced in and out of these meetings and, didn't think I was an alcoholic. I knew I had a drug problem, didn't think I was an alcoholic. And I got humbled because I definitely was. And as well as everything else, but our relationship to start with, wasn't smooth sailing. She had to put boundaries in place. She broke up with me because I wasn't in the mindset. I wasn't in the place that she was, but what she was doing was inspiring me because she wasn't rejecting me. She would put boundaries in place for her safety. And I was like, wow, that's so powerful. That she wasn't closing the door on me. She was just saying, you need to sort yourself out. I need to look after number one. And I started to then listen and start to go, you need to change this. You need to sort your shit out. Because if you really like this girl, and you really want to be with her, you need to do something about it. And it took me a little while. I struggled. I carried on dating. I carried on, thinking I'm some fucking bachelor, which I'm really not. And, in trying to kind of live this life. But I got into recovery. And then as soon as I started to really work this stuff, I started to realize what was going on. And I went, I need to stop doing this stuff. I need to stop dating. I need to stop leading these women on that I'm never going to have a relationship with. I need to stop playing around, because this is not good for me, but this is not good for them. It's not, who am I to put anybody through this stuff? If I want to shit on me, I can shit on myself, but that's not fair on me to do it to everybody else. So I did, I sacked the whole thing off and was told, that Lucy was the one. I had this magical conversation and experience with my daughter. And she channels. She's like a channel.
Really?
Oh, mate, she is powerful. Maddie's powerful. And we were sat. So our birthdays are a week apart. So we celebrated our birthday together. And I remember we were sat at my mum's house and we were having a conversation. And I always know when she channels something because she gets emotional. So she went like that and started getting emotional. And I went, "What's up?" She went, "I need to tell you something." And she told me this story of
Oh, wow.
my guide. I've got this guide who's been with me for lifetimes. You know what I mean? This woman's been with me. I died in her arms and she promised to come back as my guide and guide me through life. And she has. She's always with me. And she was telling me the story of, of us and how we met. And then my guide then comes through and says, "Lucy is the one. You need to stop messing about and you need to go and go. Like, she is the one. You need to do this." And by this point, we weren't together, but I knew I was going to see her in like 10 days time because we were going to go to a retreat together. So I was like, right, I'm going to this retreat. Like, I've got to go in and get her. And we had this powerful conversation, and my daughter told me more. Like, my nan then came through, my great grandma, like a few people came through, and I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. So I did. Got to that retreat, got Lucy, and spoke to her and told her everything, and said to her, I said, "I love you more than anything in the world. Like, you're the one. I want to be with you and no one else." And we worked through our relationship, worked to the point of, this is where we are today. And it's not been plain sailing. We go through our ups and downs like everybody else. But, I then discovered meditation, started doing meditation and went back into having therapy and actually working through this stuff. I realized that I need to let go of all of these things. But how amazing is this with life, like synchronicity and how things start to fall into place when you're ready. As I started raising my vibration, things started falling into place. And I wanted to go and find this therapist. Lucy helped me. And as it turns out, we found this Buddhist center around the corner from where I live.
Oh, wow.
And the monk there, he's a psychotherapist as well. So I was like, yeah, this is amazing. I'm going to go and see this dude. So we went to see him and started talking through all of my stuff. He took a liking to me and started teaching me Buddhism and meditation, and I started training with him. So we go and do therapy and then spend an hour meditating. And then and then started training in meditation with him, learned all about it, all about the breathing, lying down, walking, and all different types of meditations. And that's where my journey then began. That's where my journey then began. And
how long ago was this, Al?
So this was 4 years ago.
Okay, cool.
4 years ago. And I've been doing it pretty much every day ever since.
Expansion to where you are now. Like, obviously, I know you as a person and what you offer. But what apart from the meditation, has there been anything else that you've been practicing over them 4 years to get to where you are now? Because your expansion from how I know you to obviously I didn't know you back then, but like, you're one of the most inspiring people, and like, you're out there every day, and your message just comes across so clear, and it's so nice to listen to. I absolutely love watching your videos because every day is another little bit of knowledge, and the people who are subscribed to you, just they're absolutely being filled with the divine wisdom that you've been given. It's so beautiful to watch and see your videos, and the amount of views you get on your videos as well. Some of them have got like 5,000, 10,000 views. It's growing, and it's just going to get better and better and better for you. So
thank you. Yeah, it's really starting to to sort of expand, and I only started doing them just to help people. I wanted to share a bit of knowledge and just to kind of share my experience, and I wanted to just video it and just say, look, this is what I've been through, this is what I did, and this is the outcome. And I literally if you watch the videos from the beginning till now, you see my growth, you'll see my journey. And that's what I did. I just wanted to take people on this journey. And it's a journey that will stay there forever, because as long as YouTube is around, those videos will always be there. And that was always it wasn't about followers or
it's about sending your message.
This is it. And it was about that message. And Lucy even said to me, she's like, I take my hat off to you, man. Like, you don't care about likes, views.
No.
I said, I don't give a shit. I don't care if it's one person that watches it or whether it's millions.
But if it impacts one person, That's enough.
That's
That's good.
it.
That's good. That's enough for
Yeah.
me. And then it's like that person might influence another person.
This is it. Yeah.
And then
Because
it's
it's the ripple.
effect. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Exactly. And it's that ripple. And this is exactly what I found, you know, as I began that journey of mindfulness, meditation, and practicing and learning about unconditional love, kindness, care, compassion, but having to practice that for myself first, putting me at the forefront
You
of
can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. And learning about abundance, moving away from that fear, stress, anxiety, depression, scarcity, and like, you know, not feeling good enough. All of the things that I grew up with, I had to literally reteach myself and relearn and continue still to become the best version of me. That was my goal. I always knew ever since I was that little boy that I was going to be, or I am something.
What an amazing, just a tweak in the energy. You're either driving to die, or I'm going to drive to be the best version of me. And it's exactly the same energy. It doesn't take any difference of your energy. All it takes is just that one tweak in that wording of rather than talking a negative thing, I'm going to talk a positive thing, and my life is going to go whoosh, because the negative energy is there. But when you get into a higher vibration, you propel yourself.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same effort.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it. And actually, it doesn't even take as much effort.
No,
this is what I realized. Yeah. And this is what I tell people. I'm like, you got to understand, like, get on the board, like, get on this, stuff. Because it's so much better to be on this side of the road than it is on the other side.
You can either be on a downward spiral or you can be on the upward spiral, and life is just magical.
Dude, suffering is so fucking painful.
It's so boring.
And it's not just that.
It's such an old 3D paradigm. It's like, what the fuck? Why would you want to put yourself, like, we have experiences, but if we can start living in a life full of love, them experiences aren't going to happen, and they can't physically vibrate in your body when you're in a high vibration. When you come from a place of absolute unconditional love for everything and everyone, there is no pain, there is no trauma.
No. And it's so easy.
And it's just gone.
It's so easy. And the thing is, the work to get there, it takes a little bit of work, but the work gets easier. And that's what I started to realize. And I started chasing that work. I started chasing, this. Wow, if I can do this, what else can I do? What else is there? There's got to be more.
How does it get better?
Yeah. How can this get better? Does it get better and better? Because you can't suck. Because sucking sucks.
Sucks, yeah.
Sucking,
I hate sucking. Yeah. Absolutely fucking sucks.
Yeah, but this is it. But sucking just sucks. That's it. Like, all you do is you just sit in that fucking misery, and that's it. And you know what the things I realized? It takes effort to be miserable, man. It takes so much energy to be miserable. It
fucking drains you. Yeah, done that.
Yeah, so you're literally expanding so much more energy. And so I was like, okay, definitely don't want to be there. So show me what's here. And this is before, which I'll get to now. This is before I started really waking up to this stuff. This is just with like meditation, mindfulness. I was literally scratching. I was still like underneath the iceberg thinking, oh my God, I haven't even reached the surface. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this stuff is incredible. Show me more. I retrained as a coach, even though now I hate being called a coach because the people have bastardized the industry. So I hate it. But I, then started to help people, started to try and help people to live this well-being, this wellness, and find. I used to go, helping people to find the best version of themselves. Now I'm going to help you find your true purpose. I'm going to connect you to your divine purpose. Because being the best version of yourself is one thing. Find divine purpose. Oh man, this takes you to the next level. And that's what I did. I got connected to our mutual friend, Billy. And funnily enough, Billy and I we had a very similar journey, and, when we stayed connected, and funnily enough, Jenna knows Lucy separately. Like, they work together years and years.
Really?
It's so strange.
Didn't know that.
So So
I didn't know that.
Together like 15 years ago. They used to work for the same company, so they kind of knew each other.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, Bill and I knew each other, And it was really interesting because I was following his journey, what he was doing with, with the medicine and going to Brazil and Peru, the journey that you guys have went through. And I always used to say to him when I was, doing my podcast, mate, come on the podcast. I really want to talk to you about this. Because being in recovery, working a 12-step program, the medicine has been calling me for years. And I was like, well, I can't do it because I'm in recovery. I'm a 12-step program. And, and it says, I'm clean, sober. It's a program of abstinence. And I don't want to undo or ruin all that hard work because I was, listening to a program. So I was programmed into a program. And, we went to the old house and we were having a little conversation and they were doing one of the breathwork ceremonies. And it was I think it was a microdose that they were doing. And Lucy showed up. Lucy went because I had the kids that weekend. She said, oh, can I come? Can I go? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because when you go, tell me what it's like and I'm going to do it. So she went along and there was like tons of people there. It was when they did the big teepee and then she came home and she said it was phenomenal. She's like, oh my God, this breathwork stuff is on another level. And I had done the lesson that I led with the fire breathing.
Yes.
So I was doing that before. So I started to learn about breathwork, not even realizing what it was. Started learning about breathwork a couple of years ago and started practicing fire breathing and obviously with meditation and pranayama and just thinking, wow, like this is really, really interesting. And never really experienced the holotropic part of it, which is what we do a lot now, especially in ceremony. So she comes back and I said, oh, so did you do the microdose? She said, yeah, I did. She goes, what was it like? She went, oh my God. She goes, it was phenomenal. It was incredible. And I said, how do you feel? Like, do you feel weird? Do you feel like you want to go in? She's like, nothing, zero. There's no sense of, oh, I want to go and use, I want to go and drink. She's like, nothing. And that's interesting. And she had a conversation with somebody who was serving happy. And she went and did some happy, and she was having a conversation with this guy. I don't know who it was, but he was in recovery and said, actually explained that, look, we're not doing this for the same reason. We're not going to use for pleasure or pain.
You're going to heal.
You're going in there to heal. Exactly. I said, then this isn't easy work. Like we're not going there dancing around the fire singing fucking Kumbaya.
We're fucking in the process.
You're processing and stuff. Yeah.
We're clearing and transmuting energy. This is fucking deep inner work.
This is deep, deep, deep work. And this is what I think people need to realize and understand is, the healing from this is phenomenal, but the work that you have to do to start with, again, it gets easier as you continue to do it, but it's a process. You have to go and do the work. So, dude, I kept getting called, and he bloody takes a month off. He's like, oh,
I remember that.
So he goes, oh, I'm taking a month off. I have to take charge. I was like, oh, you
motherfucker.
What about me? The selfish part was like, what about me? I messaged him and said, let me know as soon as you open back up and you do another one.
I'm in.
Please let me know. I'm in. So he's like, right, I'm back in, and he mentioned about Bufo. He said something on one of the chats. He said, oh, I'm going to be doing a Bufo, blah, blah, blah. And he lists out, the stuff that he usually does. So I went, what's Bufo? Something just said to me, go and do it.
So
I
changed my life completely. Completely and utterly changed my life.
Oh my God. And this is, I have never, up until this point, never done any plant medicine. I never even done mushroom, never done the psilocybin, even in using, never, ever, ever, ever. So something just said to me, came to me in meditation and just said, go and do it. I was like, okay, no hesitation, no procrastination. I literally messaged him and said, can I come and do Bufo with you? And he went, yeah, I'm available Tuesday afternoon this time. I went, okay, cool, let's go. And I went, Luce, I've booked it. She's like, oh my God, did you? She goes, how do you feel? I said, I'm shitting myself. I said, I'm shitting myself. I said, I've got no idea what to expect. Turn up. Obviously then went into the basement and he explained everything, went through it beautifully as always. And this was my first journey, but what a journey to go through on a one-to-one and having somebody there, who I trust to take me on this.
Yeah.
And when Billy does that little cheeky smile, when that knowing smile, he gave me that smile. He gave me that nod. And he just went,
he's given that to me many times.
Oh, mate. And he said, oh, you're going to have a journey today. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? So he goes, right, so we're going to do the breath
Stitch
work.
up.
Oh, dude. So we
Stitch
did the
up, Tig.
cards, honestly. So we did the cards and it's like, right, let's do some breath work. And then he explained what the process was going to be. Let's go. So I was like, okay. Never done breath work for this long in my life. So I'm breathing. We're doing the, holotropic belly chest release, and we're going, and I'm breathing. My body's going numb. Never done this for this long in my life. I think I did the holotropic for like 15 minutes before.
Wow.
And I got a good feeling about it. Practice leading up to it. No expectations, no idea what was going to happen. So he's like, right, you're ready. Sit up. And I remember laughing, going, dude, I can't feel my body. So I literally sat up and he had it ready. And he explains like, right, so you're going to take a big breath in, release. You're going to breathe it in once, hold it, release, and we'll do it 3 times. I was like, all right, let's go. Did the breath, released, did the breath, release, did the breath, released, and went back. I kid you not, as soon as my head hits the pillow, and I remember just going, I went, dude, oh my God. I kept going. I was going, what is going on? Not really realize. I literally just stayed still. I knew there was nothing to worry about. I just had to
surrender.
I surrendered. I just went, go. Let's just see what this is all about. He's there. And he said, well, this thing is going to last 15 minutes. I was like, it'll be done in minutes. Let's go. Oh my God, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen to me. I was not expecting this, and it shot me. And I
like a catapult. Into the catapult to the creator.
And I went, oh my, and I literally hit the source, and I just kept traveling. And the music, the sound, all of a sudden, yeah. And then it went, and I went, what the fuck is that? And then we went, and then just went backwards, and then just started traveling. And I traveled to my past, went into my childhood, into a moment where I had that very similar experience. I didn't realize that I had this as a child. And I remember that memory so clearly now, that I remember lying in bed. This is what I said to you. Something was always different with me. And I remember I saw spirits when I was little, and I saw I remember
gifted. You're a very gifted man.
Yeah. And I remember just freaking out, not understanding what any of that was. And I remember going back into that as the bufo was bringing me back into my body. I remember going into this moment. I remember as a kid, I used to have these experiences, these outer body experiences, but I remember not really understanding what there was, and everything felt like goo, like this very jelly,
like a gel.
Yeah. And I remember
that's the laws of the universe.
Yeah. And I remember just thinking, why do I keep having these dreams? And I remember waking up and I was sick. I threw up. I purged. This is me, a little boy. I was like 6, 7. And obviously I woke up, and my family woke up, thought I was ill. Thought something was wrong with me. And obviously I then came back into my body. And listen to this. This is the thing that I found so incredible. I was lying down. I sat up. I thought I sat up as me, as a human, sat up and went, oh my God, I've just experienced enlightenment. And then everything went completely silent. But I didn't realize I was still out of my body. And I laid back down into my body, and then Billy started doing some healing and started literally pulling stuff out of me. And we went through this process. And then I remember coming around, and I was cried, as you do. You go through the emotions and this huge release. And, he plays that beautiful song as well, Dreams. And I remember just crying, man. I had this huge release, and I came round, and he just sat there with that look on his face. And I just remember looking at him going, what the fuck did you just do to me? And we just both laughed, and I went, oh my God, what was that? And he looked at me, and I went, you've been there because you've experienced this. He went, yeah. I went, what the fuck was that? I said, Jesus Christ, what was that? And then started to realize, poof, that is it. I connected. I connected. I'm in. And then the journey from that, man, was just, and I had the experiences again afterwards. I kept, we'd be walking around in Sainsbury's, and I'd be like, Oh my God, what was that? And Lucy would look at me and she's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a medicine still working." She'd laugh at me, and then I'd get emotional and just cry, like, but not from like a bad place, just
from
this,
from the purity of it.
just purity, nothing but just
love, nothing but love,
unconditional, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. I've never experienced that, in my life, and to try and describe it,
your heart just goes. It's just like
literally, and yeah, and it was just phenomenal. And then after that, I I got introduced to my first psilocybin experience, which which was which again, first time. I didn't realize that I did a hero dose of bufo. So then when I went and did the psilocybin, I only found this out recently, by the way, and then realized that he gave me a hero dose of the psilocybin as well, and that experience, that was just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I remember just coming out of my body, but I didn't go as far, but I went into a different realm, and I was being healed. I was lying down on this bed, and it was just energy, and just lying down on this bed, and these energy beings were around me. There was three of them, just beautiful golden energy, and they were healing me. They were just healing me and working on me, but obviously removing things and upgrading whatever it is that they were doing. And it was just incredible, absolutely incredible experience. And then after that,
so
my
beautiful.
journey. Yeah, my journey after that, when I just, I went off because I freaked out, and instead of sitting in ceremony and going through it again, and then now realizing that I need to then go into the peace and everything else, I bolted. I just wanted to come home, and I did. I went through my own journey, and that journey carried on, and I was very humbled, and I had my rebirth then. As you know, I was completely butt naked in a field, screaming. Yeah,
I love this story. I love this story.
I was screaming for my life. You know what I mean? Screaming for help. And the one thing that, I was learning to do more and more, but that needed to be broken. I needed to break that cycle, that fear, that ego cycle, and let go completely. Let go of shame, let go of the embarrassment, let go of the guilt, let go, let go, let go.
Surrender, forgiveness, peace, and love.
Everything. And you know what, Joby? The people that turned up, the two police officers that found me in that field, and then when they took me to the hospital, the nurses, the doctors who helped me, nothing but unconditional love. Nothing but unconditional love. Zero judgment, nothing. And they didn't charge me, nothing, because they knew I'm not a bad person. They knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was completely honest. Told them, I went and did this for this. I told them about our company, and and I said, look, we're guinea pigs to our own solution. We're working with something new, something that could change people's lives, and and we need to find this healing ourselves. We need to go through this experience. And both officers were asking me a ton of questions. They were like, oh my God, what is it? What do you do? And I was explaining everything to them, and they were like, wow, this stuff is phenomenal. And they were both like, God, I would never do it. I said to them, I said, do you know what? If the calling ever comes and you ever feel, if you ever feel pulled to it, do it. What you've seen me is a rarity. This is a rarity.
It's been tested now, like in the UK, massively for healing and stuff like that. So it's being scientifically proven now that it works.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
and we knew that anyway.
Yeah, we knew that anyway. Yeah. And
they've now put science to it, which the average person and the normal people who aren't normally on this path, if they see that actually gives them an opening to go, well, it's actually been scientifically proven now. There's got to be something. There's got to be something in it. It's not just a load of people just taking mushrooms for
the fun of it. Yeah,
but we never do that. You have to respect the medicine, and you have to. But yeah, no, it's good. So tell us a little bit more about your shamanic journey now that you're on this path. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your shamanism and your combining the breath work and everything and the medicines in together now. What?
Yeah, sure. So, as I mentioned in my, previously about finding that purpose, never knowing, never really understanding why I'm here. And slowly, what I've realized is life is showing you that. Life is showing you everything. That's what the purpose of life is that you find your true purpose. But what I realized and what this journey has shown me is get out of your own way. Get out of your own way and allow the process to happen. And that's what I did. And that's what the medicines have shown me, all the way through. And the last ceremony that I did with Bill in the old house, it showed me again, but showed me for definite exactly why I'm here. And I went through this, this process again of, the previous time Bill turned into the devil, and he did it again. And this one, he turned into the devil again, but then he helped me through it. And then I started to understand what that meant and what that was showing me. And I worked through it. And started to realize that my purpose is to help others, is to help people to connect with everything that they are. So my journey in this now is to, as I now have learned to understand, is what I was doing in that last ceremony is I was trying to push away my shadow. I was trying to push away the shadow self. I was trying to push away because I was trying to get rid of the fears. I was trying to get rid of the fears, the ego, the anxiety, the stress, the depression, the traumas. And it was manifesting itself in that presence. And that's what it was doing. And it was showing itself to me that it was saying, well, I'm not going to go anywhere. And I was like, well, I don't want you here. You need to leave. But I didn't realize the message. I didn't realize the message. What it was saying to me is, I'm not going anywhere because I am you. I am you. Stop pushing me away. And
the minute you find peace with that and you surrender into it and forgiveness, I forgive you for everything. Thank you for carrying me through. Thank you for giving me all of these lessons. Game changer for everyone.
Exactly. And I didn't even realize it then, because I said, and I remember going into my heart center and connecting with unconditional love. And then eventually it went, because I guess unconsciously and unknowingly for me in my human form, what I did is I did make peace with it, but it had to be done from a spiritual place. Because from I guess my human form had to catch up to what was going on.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And as soon as I did that, the rest of that evening changed. Oh my God. Talk about 5D, 6D vision. Like my vision was just on another level. On another level. My hands were vibrating and I could see the vibrations in my hands. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember looking at my hands going, oh my God, what is this?
Like, you're a multi-dimensional being. And
and they're like, this is your gift. This is you. Connect to this. And when I used to close my eyes and I could see like the truth when everything is heightened, the cells, like when you see that at that level, when everything multiplies and you see how your cells work, dude, I remember Zai came over and Billy as well. And they came over and gave me a hug. And I remember closing my eyes. And as I closed my eyes, our cells combined. And I was like, oh my God, I remember just hugging it. We're giving me a hug. Are you okay? And I was like, oh my, yeah, just stay here. And I remember just stay here. And I remember I think, I don't know if Zai felt my energy because I was vibrating so much. And he sort of jumped. So I don't know if he felt something. And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm cool. And then, and Bill, we came over and we were sort of just hugging it out. And I remember seeing these things and realizing from a bigger sense, a larger purpose of this is what human connection is. When you hug someone, when you connect, dude, the energies combine.
Yeah.
Everything combines. Like we connect on a level that is unexplained by science, unexplained by human form, unexplained by human words. And I was being shown all of these things and realizing that's what this is. We need to connect. And that's where my journey started to, really unfold. Yeah. And then as we were holding space and we started holding space really small, 2 people, 4 people max, and, working with people on a one-to-one basis. And I started growing in confidence and seeing the work and the healing that people were having from it, not just with the medicine, but just breathing as well. We have clients that come in and just do breathing with us, and obviously Lucy and I then combine both our gifts. As you've heard, her gift is singing.
Yeah.
She's like an angel.
She's amazing.
Her healing is her voice. And my healing is my ability to, lead breathing, but also use my hands for healing, being able to be a channel. And that's what I've started to really understand and realize. So when I touch someone or when I do healing, I started to really feel, and I get emotional with them. I go through the process with them. I go through the process with them. They cry, I cry, and then we go through it. And we do that because I've realized as well is I'm helping them to release. We're using all of our energy to release everything that doesn't serve anymore. And that's where it's taken me, So we combine, everything that we do together. And when we hold space, I usually go in and, we use Lucy's trained now to serve medicine, psilocybin and hape, and obviously she's taught me as well. So she leads often. She opens the ceremony, and we serve hape, and we go through the process with sananga, and then we go through everything and take people through the journey. The breathing, the meditation, and we've adapted and started to really, as we continue to fine tune it, to each individual, because everyone's very different. Everyone's got something.
Bespoke. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone has their own thing. But the most powerful thing I continually realize with this stuff is we are the healing channel. As it says here. Heal thyself.
Yeah.
We are the healing. We are the machine that heals everything.
Healthy self, heal thyself.
Yeah. And that's why I, made this t-shirt, is for us to understand that we are everything. We are the earth, we are the trees, we are the animals, we are each other. And today's Earth Day. What a beautiful day to be doing this as well. And what a beautiful day as well. For people to understand that we come from the one source, one channel, and we come here to have these individual experiences. But they are just experiences. But remember that our connection is infinite. That's why that was the experience that I had when I hug someone and I feel that connection with them. I'm like, because that's what we are. We are connected with everything that we are, every fiber of our body, everything, everything that makes us who we are, is what connects us, but also disconnects us, and this disconnection, these things that are happening at the moment, this is why you see so much sickness. This is why you're seeing healthy people becoming sick, because people are now, whether you're,
the 6 foot rule.
Yeah.
Our aura magnetizes 6 foot out.
So funny that.
Yeah.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah. Bollocks.
Exactly. But this
what a load of bollocks.
This is
let's not even talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is, I think, the part that people need to understand is, understand who you are. That's the number one thing. You want to find out how who you are, what your purpose is, what your goal, what your dream, what your gift is, why you are here. Connect with the shadow, connect with the light, and then combine everything into the being, into everything you are, into your divine purpose, into your true purpose. And once you do that, and the more and more you do that, like I'm going through a new process now where, because I started to connect every morning. I was like, this last week and this week, I'm like, where's the connection? Because I could usually feel it, coming in. I'm like, what's going on? Have I lost the connection? Like, is something wrong? Am I doing too much? Because I only do happy in the mornings through my practice. Am I doing it every day? Is that too much? I started questioning it, bringing my energy down, not realizing it. And I'm going, so then I took a break and then just carried on breathing. And then I realized, I'm like, you are connected now. You are connected. This is it. You've made a connection. Stop expecting. So I was like, okay, show me the next level then. So this now is the next level. So it's like, show me the next thing. And this is what we do. We just have to go through these stages of healing. So when we go through the journey to begin with, we go through the ignition. So we ignite the healing. We go through ceremony, breathwork, meditation, whatever it may be for you, whether you're coming in through the rooms, you're coming in through therapy or whatever, or you're just coming in because you've got the calling. That's the ignition. we ignite that healing part of us that says, okay, enough's enough. The body's telling us now that we need to let go. So let's find somewhere where we can find that healing channel. Let's find somewhere where somebody can help me to let go of this stuff and really begin the connection. And then we go through these layers. We go through the healing ignition into the first layer of connection, which is connecting with the shadow, because the shadow is the first thing that needs working through. So when we go deep into the work that we do, into the breathing, into the medicine, whatever it is, that's the work. That's the dark shadow work that we have to do. That stuff sucks. The thing is it's not sucking like life sucks. It's temporary suck, but the release is huge. Like this, and this is not stuff that, and Lucy's a psychotherapist, I'm a coach. We've worked with people like on and on and on, and all of a sudden we do this stuff.
You can see patterns.
Dude, it just goes.
Yeah.
And all we then have to do is just, if you allow it to go, and and you don't need to hold on to this stuff anymore, the shadow cleans, the shadow clears. Shadow will always be there. And I always say to people, especially now as I'm taking people through work, I teach people now, don't demonize your shadow. Don't separate yourself from the shadow. Les, when we went to the first workshop that he did, and he said to me, stop pushing your shadow self away. And I was like, yes, right. I realized that's what I was doing. He said, remember, he said in that workshop, connect, shadow, light, gray. It's like, yes, that's what it was. And as soon
centered, completely centered, aligned, past, future, whatever, however you want to look at it, the dark, the light, it's just be there.
This is it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the I. We're on that subject anyway, but let's go into the I, because a lot of people say I am.
Yeah. And this is part of that journey, the discovery of self, which is what I'm learning continuously doing this work. So we go through the stages of healing, and there are those stages. So the ignition, the recognition, with working with the shadow, connecting with the light, connecting with the gray, and then we go into the I and start to then connect with that. That is the one. That is everything that we are. And that's what the I is. And what our conditioning, our social conditioning, our family conditioning, everything that we learn through life, TV, social media, even currently what's going on at the moment, whether you're with or against it, if you're connecting to the energy, if you're connecting and vibrating with it, you're in it. And what you're connecting with is, I am against it. I am my job. I am Joby. I am Alex. I am a life coach. I am, I am whatever.
Whatever you put after it is true.
Whatever you put after the I am is true. And there is a place for I am.
Yeah.
But I think where I want to focus on is the labeling. Is the human word that we've created that labels us. And what we do is we found purpose in the I am. And this is where we then become limited. Instead of becoming limitless, we become limited because we limit ourselves to the I am. Oh, I am nothing without my job. I am nothing without my career. I am nothing without money. I am nothing without my car. I am nothing without social media. I am nothing without TV. I'm like, fuck, so you are nothing. That's who you are. You are nothing. And that's what you experience. You will experience emptiness. Emptiness of love, emptiness of kindness, compassion, tolerance, connection with self, connection with the I, the soul purpose, the divine purpose of everything that you are. And this journey is about elimination of labels. It's about removing everything that doesn't serve. Of course, we have to use words. We live in a society where we've lost that.
Words are spelling. It's called spelling for a reason. Certain words are spelled certain ways to manipulate you.
Exactly that. And this is the thing. And then thankfully, more and more people are realizing how to use their words. I said this possibly about 6 months, a year ago. I did a video and said, be very mindful of your words. Your words have huge actions. The most powerful thing God has given us is the ability to speak. So speak carefully, speak mindfully, speak from a place of love. You know, take yourself back when you're in a place of anger, resentment, you know, frustration. That's why they say, step back. Lucy says to me, don't get in a ring. And I'm like, yeah, but every now and then I love a bit of a fight. But I've learned now.
Yeah,
I just don't want to get in any ring. I don't want to get in any ring. I don't want to get in any discussions anymore. Like it's not my place. It's not my place. It's not my business. It's not my lesson. And again, the more and more you remove those labels, people say, oh, but I'm going to disconnect with everyone. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not.
No.
You're really not. This is the number one fear when people start to, let's use the word wake up. When people start to wake up to their divine purpose, to their divine being, when they're going through that layer, this is why you would see that people come and do ceremonies. They have these, you know, incredible experiences. They may not, because that's what they may be presented with. Because of our current conditioning, if you don't continue to do this work, you're going to be left in this void of in-betweenness. And then you either go one way, you either carry on, or you go back to your normal life. Sadly, some people go back to normal and they just go back to doing what they need to do. Or even when they leave a ceremony room, they still go back to doing the same fucking shit that they do.
You got to be doing stuff every day.
Yeah.
Every day, daily spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Meditation, breathwork.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, it's just keep doing it every day, growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. And don't ever, fear is, you know, is again, spelling. False evidence appearing real.
Yep.
Yeah. But then switch it, because actually fear is a really good thing. You know, fear is our fight and flight mechanism, you know. So actually when you get that impulse of, what do I do? Yeah, no, let's go. So you either go into fear or false evidence appearing real when you fly, or
face everything.
Go face everything
and rise.
Exactly. And that's what I've learned is like, right, feel you're coming. All right, let's go. Let's push. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep breathing. Let's keep, you know, let's keep writing. Let's do another video. Whatever it may be for you on your day-to-day basis, is overcome the fear. The fear is you. You know, I heard a very interesting video where Sadhguru was talking about fear and ego. And I love his sense of humor, because he's like, well, show me your ego. And he said, show me your ego and I'll kill it. Because again, the words that I use, the conditioning, the things that you are taught every single day are to keep you limited, to keep you boxed into this little place that you are Alex and you're a life coach and you own Happy as Larry Group and you're here to help, you know, change the world one person at a time. But that's it. And I'm like, fuck that. That's not who I am. I am so much more. I am so much more. And then I started to realize, wow, fuck. All right, let's go more. Let's go. I want to know more. And this is where you start to find your true purpose, when you allow yourself to step away from the fear, bring it in and say, all right, let's go. Let me work through this, because there's obviously a reason why it keeps creeping up. There's a reason why we keep acting out. There is a reason why you keep being shitty. There's a reason why your relationships are still shit. There is a reason why you keep misbehaving or talking to people like crap, or whatever it is that happens in your day-to-day basis, whatever it is for you. Look at it, not from a place of judgment, but just watch and take note. What's coming up for me that I can change? What is this? What are they showing me? You're being shown now. You want to go through this wake-up journey? Be prepared. You're fucked now, because this is it. And this is the thing I always say to people, like, you know, Lucy's so much better with this with me, because sometimes I have a lot of sympathy, but I'm one of these people where I'm very straight talking.
Yeah.
And I often say to people, like, stop fucking about. Either go in or go out. This is it. Like, trust the process. And again, talking from a place of learning. Yeah. I've been there and I've had to learn. So I also sympathize when it takes time. It's okay for things to take time.
Of course.
I have to be very patient. But
again, that's a lesson for you as well. If you're having that, oh, why am I not getting the results, or this person not doing this? And if that's triggering something in us, then we have to go, hold on a minute, why is that triggering me? We have to heal that. But everyone's journey is everyone's journey, and we can't come from a place of judgment or anything. We have to be completely neutral, again, in that place of being aligned, centered. And their journey is their journey, however long their journey and process takes. We have to, that's something I've had to learn through with my clients as well. It's like some people just come in and it's like, it's gone, as you said. And in other people, it's a little bit longer. And that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and that's something I had to learn at the beginning. You know, we had a couple of experiences where they just weren't letting go. They were fighting it, and they were fighting it and fighting it, and you know, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Is it me? And then I started to realize, actually, this is nothing to do with me.
It's them.
Nothing to do with me. And, you know, and this is what I've realized. And I think what I was trying to explain is more from a place of self, not from a place of anything that I expect or think. I don't ever go into, you know, into a space expecting anything of them. That's none of my business. That's between them and their channel. You know, for me, I just go into self. I go into me, and I connect with my guides, my animal spirits that are coming in to help me do my work. And that's what I've learned to do, you know. But again, we're all in, exactly as you said, we're all in this individual journey. So, you know, it's to, I guess, for all of us to understand that, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter whether, you know, if you do, God, I make mistakes, man. Like a couple of days ago, a week ago, I really suffered with currently what's going on at the moment. And I lost my rag because I've had enough. But that was my process. That's what needed to come up for me to have that experience, for me to let go of it and understand that, go back to self, go back to I. What do you need to do? I need to just stay where I am. I need to continue on my journey. I need to process, you know, I need to allow this stuff to come up. I need to process it, understand it, accept it, heal from it, let go.
That's it. Breathe in, release, let go.
This is it.
Yeah. Now we can start talking about one of my favorite subjects, breathwork.
Yes.
Talk to me about your breathwork, brother. Breathe to succeed. Obviously, I've got breathe to heal. You got breathe to succeed. It's great. I love it. And,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's perfect in every way. You know, when I see you set it up the other day, I was like, oh my God, what beautiful, like just for you, for what you do with your coaching, the Happy as Larry group. It was like the perfect thing. And it's like, it's so cool to see that.
Thank you.
That expanding for you, because I knew there was something there. I got shown something myself, and I was like, he's gonna. There's a little breathwork thing there for him, and he's gonna go, and he's gonna expand. So talk to me about your breathwork. Obviously, your question. How to come out with this? The training you've done, the training you are doing. Obviously, self experience. What's your for people who obviously might not even know what breathwork is? And we spoke about it a couple of times. What's your perception of what is breathwork and how it can help people?
Yeah, no, great question. I think there are so many different descriptions of it. Again, very easy to label stuff. Breathing is part of life. You know, breathing is what keeps us alive, is what keeps this beautiful machine, you know, working every day. You know, we can go without water for a few days. We can, you know, not eat for 30 days. But, you know, it's been said a number of times, hold your breath for long enough and you will know. You know, you will very quickly see. And I started to realize the power of breathing. And breathing to me means healing, means connecting, you know, means understanding self, you know, really connecting with that divine purpose and everything that we are, because we've been shown and taught to shallow breathe. And then when we get stressed, be in this, again, constant state of fear and anxiety. But when you, and as I started to, so my first introduction to breath work has been through meditation. So studying with this Buddhist monk, and started to learn about conscious breathing, just breathing in and out, box breathing. You can breathing in for a certain amount of time and then releasing, and really starting to I started to then really understand the power of breath from a place of stillness. That was my first introduction, from a place of stillness, and just to kind of understand that everything that is and ever will be is in the now, and that for me was so powerful. And you can simply connect with that in the simplest way of just breathing. Just conscious breathing, whatever that means or whatever that feels for you. So then expanding on that, I then started to learn and research around shamanic breathing. Came across, some breathing techniques and just practice. Started to not even realizing it was breath work. It was just something I really took to, something I really enjoyed. I wasn't doing it to actually teach anybody. I actually did the one that we did on Thursday, the shamanic fire breathing. I only taught that once a few years ago when we first started the business, on a retreat. We did a retreat as part of one of the programs that we run. And at the end of that, I didn't even realize we did a breathwork session. So we were doing meditation, we were doing coaching, and then I ended up doing that session. And God, the release and the experience people were having was phenomenal. Lucy was purging, and it was absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then just kind of continued in that. It's only until a year ago, actually, no, it was probably about 18 months to 2 years ago when I started doing this, and then got introduced to the holotropic breathing and started practicing and learned more about belly chest release, holotropic breathing, and different types of breathing, and started I'm just finishing a course with Yoga Lab to do pranayama breathing, and yogic breathing, so different techniques. And once I finish that, I'm going to do the next level of their course to then be fully qualified to be able to then teach that specific form of breathing. And once I finish that, the next it will be to Dambrele, to train with him.
That's who I'm training with. That's who I'm with now, Dan.
Yeah. So do that with so train with
Dan's
with Dan.
Amazing. He's the Bruce Lee of breathwork.
Yeah. So this is it. So it's beautiful, man. And just the ability to. The thing is with breathing and breathwork, there are techniques, but what I found, and this only happened when we went to the fire and ice session. When you were sat next to me.
Yeah.
Right. That day, I don't know what the hell happened to me, but I ended up getting this really bad pain on my stomach when we were, doing the holotropic breathing to start with.
Yeah.
And something just said to me, sit up. So I was like, all right, well, I'll sit up. I just listened now. So I was like, okay. I sat up. We carried on breathing. So I thought, wow, this was a lot better now. Just feel really connected.
Yeah.
And then we switched into the belly chest release, and we started going. And then all of a sudden, I channeled with Tyson. He channeled with me. We didn't even know this until afterwards. I started listening to his drum. The drum was following my breathing. And all of a sudden, we just got into this rhythm. And I started breathing. And all of a sudden, I stopped breathing. As in, my body was breathing, but I wasn't controlling it. I wasn't controlling it. And I never felt anything like that in my body. Never felt anything like that. And he was drumming. And I was breathing. And he was following. I didn't even realize. I'm following him. He's following me. And all of a sudden, I had to catch myself and realize, stop controlling. We're in. You're in now. You are breathing on your own now. Just let it happen, and do the fucking. You probably heard me. The release. I just ended up having this release. I don't know who came up afterwards. I think it might have been Dom, just like gave me this hug, and I was just having this huge release of just energy and just love, just everybody that was in the room, and then when I opened my eyes, that beautiful image that he's got behind him, and I remember looking at that going, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? Even, I kid you not, my inner child, something inside me went, what did you do? What the hell has just happened? And I was like, what do you mean? There's nothing, like it's gone, like it's peace. And that's when I burst into tears. And I was like, I've never, sort of experienced that. And that's been my sort of breathwork journey and experience. So what I've learned is to really then teach people that. So I mix pranayama with holotropic, and
that's the same with mine. I work with each client specifically, but I like to have a mixture of all different breath works, because one technique might be good for someone, one might not be good for another. That's why it's important to learn everything. But I've sort of created my own version of so many different techniques now. It's just, it's endless. It just keeps coming to me. It keeps coming, all these different techniques and rhythms and patterns, and making it like, because so many people who do holotropic go, oh, you shouldn't do rebirth, or you shouldn't do pranayama. It should be holotropic. It's like one version only. Bore off.
Yeah. Again, limitations.
Yeah, exactly. Like, expand your mind to unlimited possibilities.
Yeah.
Create your own techniques. Create your own version of stuff, and just bring it to the world. Express it.
Dude, like, we are the people that are being shown this stuff. Like, you are being gifted to expand, co-create, and just develop. We're not here to learn what somebody's taught you. You learn it, you develop it, you pass it on. Then the next person learns, develops, and grows. My whole philosophy: learn, grow, develop. Learn, grow, develop. Learn, grow, develop. This is what we do. So I had actually someone I tagged, I think I posted something and tagged holotropic breathing. This woman messaged me. She DM'd me on Instagram and said,
"You're not allowed to do that."
Yeah, she went, "Have you trained holotropic breathing?" And I went, "No." I said, "I practice it." I said, "But I'm not trained as such."
Yeah, they have it trademarked.
Yeah, so I was
like, trademarked. You're not allowed to put holotropic breath work. You can put holotropic breathing. You're not allowed to put holotropic breath work.
Yeah, I think, I can't remember which one I did, but and she said something to me. She was like I don't know. She was in the UK, and it wasn't in it. I wasn't even. There was no video. I think it was just a post.
Yeah.
And I remember I just said, "Oh, I'll take the tag off." Like, it's not. It really isn't a big deal to me. I couldn't care less.
It's a tag.
It's a fucking tag. Yeah, I don't give a shit. But what I remember just thinking, wow, like, is that really important? Like, you're getting on your high horse about a hashtag, and what's the purpose of it? What did you take away from that, other than trying to enforce yourself on me, which has had no impact, and push me away from knowing anything else about holotropic breathing? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're very limited in what you're doing, and your limiting beliefs tell me that you're not on this journey to learn, grow, develop. So cool. Thanks.
Have a great day.
Have a great day. That was it. I didn't even get into the ring. I didn't even go through the thing. But that was my thought process, and thought, okay, yeah, all right, it is what it is, And look,
it just is.
That's it. All he's done, all they've done is good for you. You've copywritten a name. You fucking genius. You cannot stop me from breathing.
No.
This is the thing that people don't understand. Again, power, control, fear, and ego. If you're having to do that and go into life trying to impose this, whatever this is, this grandeur, oh, this is who we are. Well, you're limiting yourself.
This is why I like Dan Brule so much, because he is just like, learn everything. He said, whatever I teach you, make it your own.
Yeah.
He's so open, and he's just like, he just like take a bit of that, and he said, make it your own. Have fun, have fun. Like breath work should be fun and enjoyable. And holotropic for me as well. Like when you just purely focus on that, it actually it activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight mode. So you actually got to go through the emotional baggage, like bringing it all up to the surface on purpose, where you could do the rebirth style or different other styles, breathe into it with love, peace, and harmony, and you're going to have a far better journey. You haven't got to go. It can be as easy as hard as you choose. You don't have to go into these processes and go through the struggle. It can be just going with that peaceful mindset that we was talking about. I mean, everything's with unconditional love.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you the journeys will be so much better. I had someone who's a regular client really struggles with letting go. Yesterday we actually it was like a full-on relaxation into breath work, full on relaxed into it. Didn't tense, and he had the most beautiful experience. Most of the time he's like a bit tense, but yesterday just let go. As seeing people, I've had some clients who have been on medication for 20 years, gone. One or two sessions of breath work. This is the new yoga. This is going to change everything.
100%. And I think and combine it with the studies that thankfully they're redoing the studies now that were done before around plant medicine, psilocybin, and using that with the breath work. Because what I've started to realize as well is through the medicine, thank God for the medicine. Do you know what I mean? And thank God for the breath work, because the connection of both showed me that everything the medicine is showing me and teaching me and healing me with, I have. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, fuck, like I've got to tell everyone, like, this is how I am. So, sometimes I and that's the most beautiful thing about it. I had an experience on a micro dose. I had an experience doing breath work. Lucy and I were sat in bed and we were doing this breath work. And I started to then just connect. And I did my last breath hold. And then I was holding for God knows how long and released. And all of a sudden, as I did that, we just went inwards. And I went, see, you are the planet. You are the earth. And I went, and I was shown everything. And I went, oh my God. And it burst into tears and just went into this like really beautiful place. And then the next one I did, it showed me the universe, the universe, the stars, the planets, everything. We are all of this, like in human form. The human body can't, because even as I'm saying it to you now, my body's still kind of catching up to the fact that, we are literally, we walk on this earth, but the earth is still in here.
Yeah, of course.
The planets, everything is still in here.
I was shown on one of my journeys the universe breathing. And it was like the breath is the Holy Spirit. It's like it's everything.
Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And this is the thing that I'm starting to realize, that it will come a time for all of us as we're leading into this, as we're leading forward with the work that we're doing, not just us, but there are others there doing some phenomenal work too, is that what will continue to happen is, the medicine will, we will still have the medicine there, but we will be able to utilize the medicine less and less and less, because we are igniting and opening up and awakening everything that the medicine gives us anyway. So the trip, the voyages, everything we do and everywhere we go, as we're going through this, which is, you mentioned about daily practice and just doing these things now, what starts to do is you're connecting with every single one of your chakras, all 107 of them, and you're starting to wake every single one of them up, and you're starting to wake everything, you're starting to align, go to the eye, connecting with all of that. You connect to Mother Earth. As soon as you get that connection, then you open yourself fully 110% to everything.
Yeah.
This is the point. Like when we do, I cannot wait. I hope I can do it in this lifetime. Dude, I've seen, like, they showed me what we are capable of, what we will become. And oh my God, this is why
I've had the same vision. I've had the same vision. They must be showing us all different things.
They must be. Yeah, this is a reason I truly believe that, us, I truly believe, like the five of us, me, you, Bill, Dom, Leon, like, there is a reason, like Lucy, six of us, and obviously there are so many others as well. Like the work that we're doing, there is a reason why. There is a reason why we're connected. There is a reason why we think the same way. We're being shown the same things.
Yeah.
It's so we show this to the world. There's a reason we're doing this podcast. There's a reason we do the videos. There is a reason why this is all going to expand and just fucking blow up.
On that note of blowing up, I'm about to piss myself. Give me 2 minutes.
I'm going to do the same, actually.
Yeah, go on, we have a piss break. Okay, so we're back from toilet break. well needed toilet break after talking for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's all good. So tell us a little bit more about some breathing techniques that you use, that we can give to the people, that give them some tools to take away from this as well.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. One of the things which is really good, I think what everybody's struggling with at the moment, whether you're in this situation, whether you're out of it, we're human beings. So we have the emotions, and we've labeled ourselves with, fear, depression, stress, anxiety. So fear, stress, and anxiety seems to be the very common ones at the moment. And one of the things that I found, which is very useful for me, and I teach, a lot of clients as well, is just simple ocean breathing techniques. Because when we go into those states, fear, stress, and anxiety, is we go into the fight or flight system, and we go into this panic mode. So heart starts beating, and we start to get panicky. So the best thing to do is to just bring yourself into a calm, steady place. Get yourself away from the situation that you're in if you can. If you can't, if you can walk away or whatever it may be, and just breathe into your belly and just deep into the nose. So just simply just in and out of the nose. And just connect, go inwards, connect with your heart center, and just really focus on calming yourself down with each breath. Get yourself in a place where you can just control your breathing. So controlling your breathing means you control everything. And by controlling your breathing, it brings you into this state of calmness, into this state of oneness. And this really, really helps people just on a fly. If you're out and about and you can't, go in and start doing any form of breath work, this is the best thing to do. Yeah. I use it in meditation. I use it when I'm going to go and do a video, or if someone stressing me out or whatever it is, I often just go in 5-10 breaths or however many you need, but just control the breath in, hold it for a couple of seconds, release all the way down to the
4
bottom.
out.
This is it. Yeah. Exactly. And then just hold it at the top for 2 seconds, hold it at the bottom for 2 seconds. And you'll see very, very quickly, you start to get yourself into this nice calm state again. And you start to feel that nice tingling through your body. The mind starts to calm down a little bit, and just use that throughout the day.
Yeah, especially if people have got anxiety, stress, tension. And many people just say, just breathe. But there's a certain way of breathing. You need to slow your breathing down, and you need to breathe calm. So you're sending positive signals up your nervous system into your brain. So you calm the brain down, and the brain goes, I like this. Exactly. We're nice and relaxed. Whereas some people go, take a big breath in, and all of a sudden you're activating the fight mode, and the brain goes, "Oh, we're in trouble. I need to save you."
Yeah. This is it, and I think it's there is a place for every breathing technique.
Yes,
but the number one is the simplest one. Is the way we usually breathe. But what you do is you just elongate the breaths in and out. And just
it's
really
beautiful.
connect.
It's one of my favorites.
And it's the one that when you're just sitting in stillness in meditation, this is what you do. When you're learning to meditate, and people often come and say to me, "Oh, I can't meditate. I can't sit still. I always have something to do." I'm like, "Have you got 5 minutes? Let me show you." And that's all I show them. I show them to go into that, into that breathing technique. I call it ocean breathing.
Yeah,
and
same.
you can even just visualize the ocean, and that's how the ocean moves. It moves in a nice, steady flow. And fear, fight or flight system, stress and anxiety, these things are just simply, it goes back to fear. It's being out of control. So if you want to go back into taking control of self, go back into your breathing. Go back into self. Don't go outwards, go inwards. And that's key to that calmness and stillness.
Yeah, it's perfect. What about if someone's feeling lethargic, they're feeling tired, what breath would you give them to be energized?
Boost energy. Oh, I love this one because I do this one every morning. So Lucy and I do this technique. So when we come in, we serve happy, and then we go into this breath, which start with the ocean breathing. So you do 5 sets. So just nice, easy. Just do nice 5 easy breaths, and then go into like a holotropic breath. Just go in. But not you don't need to speed it. You don't need to get your heart rate into that place. Nice. So remember, even this type of breathing, how you control the breath in and out has a different effect. Every technique can be adjusted to suit your current needs. So if you want to boost your energy, and just do that. So what I'll do is I'll do 5 ocean breaths in and out to start with, get that nice breath in and out into the body, and then do 20 of, just, holotropic breath, but nice controlled release the breath, on the out, but nice control in all the way to the top, release, all the way in, control, release, do 20 of those, and then just do a nice breath hold at the top. 10, 20 seconds, whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people can hold it a little bit longer, and you will feel the tingling as you go into the breath hold. After the 20, take a nice big deep breath in and just sit with that, and you start to feel that nice tingling sensation, and that's the energy rising. So if you're feeling tired or lethargic, or you just need that boost, all you have to do is just 2-3 rounds of that, and your energy level
it's a couple of minutes of your day.
Yeah,
you do that 10 times a day.
Yeah,
you've done 20 odd minutes worth of breath work.
Yeah, this is it. It's so simple. It's so simple, and even if you just want to, like for me, if if I want to get just that boost of dopamine, or just want to get a bit of a high energy, I also do that fire breathing. So just in and out of the nose and mouth. So just do that for a minute. Just do it for a minute, and you're back in. You're back in.
The holding breath's one of my favorites as well, because that's how we actually change the chemistry of the brain. We're changing the neurons, the pathways. You can literally transform yourself by holding the breath.
Yeah. Because what we do in the breath hold is, we not only are we connecting with self, It's exactly that. We're
and
energizing.
you're right there in that now moment as well. There is no past, there is no future.
Nothing. Yeah.
You're paused in that now moment.
Yeah, this is it, and that's the way to just kind of bring you into your center, and just allow yourself to really connect with everything that you are, that energy system, the heart center, the chakras, just really align everything. And this is where that power release, because you're breathing in goodness, you're releasing everything that doesn't serve. But when you take that massive deep breath in of goodness, you're literally holding that stuff in, and that stuff is then going through your body going, yes, it's like kissing all the way, every single fucking part of your body just going, amazing.
70 trillion cells in the body go, yes.
Yes, this is it. Yeah, and you are literally just recharging. You're recharging a battery. We are, I mean, they talk about it in the Matrix, don't they? Morpheus talks about it, but he talks about it in a sense of, this is what they want to turn you into. But realize it and take away the that message and take it into this place. You are a human, as you said, 700 trillion.
70,
I believe
70
trillion, isn't it? Something like that. I remember. Yeah, I remember Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, talking about this, and he said every single cell in your body is 1.4, 1 point something volts of energy. So imagine how much energy you're carrying in your body. You are most powerful than every fucking powerful power stations that are out there. Like, this is what people don't realize. This is how powerful you are. Like, dude, like, this is the thing where people go, oh, I'm just a human. No, you're not. Like, you are so much more than that. You are so much more. And when you understand that, when you connect with that energy center, that energy system, and you wake that stuff up,
game-changing, transformational,
unbelievable. There is nothing on this planet
you can't do with the breath. The breath can take you wherever you need to go.
Everywhere. Think about it. 5,000 years ago, ancient Egypt, the Romans. If you think about even every single one of these, every single one of them, the gods, the tribes, everything.
Breathwork.
Even now, the tribes that are still alive now globally, they still teach, even in India, you name it, every single one of them have a form of breathing.
Why?
Because it connects you, it raises your vibrations, it raises your energy levels, it raises your connection not only to self, but to that point, the I. And once you connect with that point,
it's magic.
It's magic. It's absolute magic. And this is when you start to, I speak for myself, I started to realize how purposeful my life is, but also how pointless so many things in this world is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How pointless a lot of this stuff is. Because once you connect with self, you're like, I am everything. That's where you can use I am.
Yeah.
Because it's I, we, all. I, we, all. And this is what I was saying to you about when I gave, Zai and Bill that hug, and I connected, and I was like, oh, wow. Because I was looking when I was closing my eyes and breathing, I was connecting with I and seeing all of these things happening. And when I connected with them, I was like, what? Whoa, this is phenomenal. Look at this. Like, I'm connected with them. Like, every single part of their cells and my cells connected. Everything connects. Far from anything that science has ever shown.
Yeah.
Because they need to see things on paper. They need to see things visually. But the thing is, even scientists are starting to see now, the ones who are working with plant medicine and doing all of this stuff, trialing and testing it, they are waking up and going, I never thought this stuff was possible.
No.
I never thought this stuff was possible. Science is so limiting. Because think about it in this way. Even this is the thing that makes me laugh even about now. People going, oh, science is everything. And I was like, but aren't scientists constantly trying to disprove other scientists' work? Just sit with that for a minute. Yeah. Every scientist on this planet are trying to disprove other scientists' work. What does that tell you about science? Yes, there is a place for science. Absolutely. Yes, there is a place for technology. Absolutely. But everything you need, every science, every technology, every single thing, every answer, every knowing is here. It's inside.
Yeah.
It's
It's
inside.
powerful.
And
So powerful.
once you know, you can show me every fucking paper under the sun. I'll turn around and say to you, if it doesn't match to what I know and what I've seen and been shown, you still got work to do. But that's the beautiful thing about life, is that the work continues.
It's never ending.
Never ending. That's the beauty about this stuff.
Never ending game of possibilities.
Exactly. Seek, go find. Remove yourself from the limitations. Just go and explore. Just try. But don't go explore the world. I see people going to Bali and they go to India and they go, oh, I'm going to go and find myself. Self is here. Look in the mirror.
You can sit right here, right now,
right
and find you. Find
this is
yourself.
it. You are here.
It's like so many people go on vision quests. Like they go and do a vision quest, and they're like, you got to go out in the desert or in the forest or the jungle, wherever it is, for 3 days, no food, no water, to find yourself. But do you know what I would do if I was put on a vision quest? I'd sit right there where the instructor is. I wouldn't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I would be like, I'm here.
I'm here. I showed up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Show me what I don't know. Yeah.
I don't need to go out there.
Yeah, this is it.
Where's that going to take me?
Yeah. And do you know what the most beautiful thing I've learned as well recently is how much I don't know.
No.
How much I don't know, which keeps me even more inquisitive.
And anyone who says they know everything knows nothing.
I know nothing. I am so proud to say that.
Yeah.
I know nothing. I am Mr. Discovery.
Yeah.
You know, I am
keep me learning, keep me evolving.
Exactly. You know, before I go and teach anybody anything, I'm always the student. You know, I learn from you. I go and sit, I go and sit and watch, you know, build work, you guys and everything that you guys do, like, because that's how we all learn from each other.
It's like I'm learning from you. Exactly the same. I love watching your stuff because what am I going to learn today?
Yeah.
What am I going to learn today? How can I evolve myself today? Who's going to teach me something today?
Yeah.
And even with my clients, like just seeing them with one little subtle change in their breath.
Yeah.
Why did I just do that? I'm continuously learning off my clients.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Because the thing is, we are all gifted. We all have this individual gift, and the whole purpose to live in is to learn and understand that. Again, learn, grow, develop is quite simple.
Yeah.
When I've started to really understand, it's like, I used to seek, what's the purpose of life? What's the purpose of life? People always ask, like, what's the purpose of life? Live.
Experience.
Live, experience. That's the purpose to life.
Love
unconditionally.
Yeah.
Highest form of energy.
Yes.
Unconditional love.
Why would people not want to be in that state? It's so simple. It's so simple.
I don't get it.
You can literally couple of minutes of your time do some breath work, align yourself, energize yourself, connect into source, and just be.
That's it.
It just is.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah. And understanding that, will serve you so much more for such a longer period of time, because once you open yourself up to knowing and understanding, you know nothing.
Yeah.
This is when the magic truly happens, and I'm speaking for myself only, and this is where I've really started to find the magic. And I'm kind of like, wow, if I know this now, mate, I cannot wait to see what I'm going to know in a year.
Yeah.
Lucy and I take stock, of our lives. We take stock of things that have happened to us, and and we do it often, and we look back and we just go, wow, I never in my life look back in regret now. Everything, the story that I just told you, my whole life, everything that's happened to me, every experience, there has been a lesson. I've learned, I've grown, I've developed. And that's always, every single time. And that's what we do. And if you can see life from that perspective, I see, I watch other videos and follow other people, and I watch, coaches and motivational speakers and doing all of this and doing all of that. And they're great at spinning some plates. But I've also seen that some people, like all of us, we all struggle in others. And I started to realize, wow, you know what? That's what's so beautiful about life, is that there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as perfection. Again, these words, these spells have been created to keep people limited, because they go, well, if I can't be perfect, then I failed. Well, you failed because you didn't even try. You failed before you even start. But there is no such thing. And this is that for me was such a pivotal moment when I started to realize this and started to really understand. Because my number one thing that I used to struggle with was procrastination, which, it comes from fear. And I started to go, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And every now and then, it kind of creeps in. And I know that there are certain things I just need to be patient with. I just need to be patient with and continue working, continue serving, continue learning, growing, developing. And then eventually when that time comes, poof, I do it. And I'll do it. I look back and go, oh man, there's the lesson. Stay in there, continue, keep going. And that's the most powerful thing, man. Yeah. Just do it. Just go. Just go, just serve, just learn. And this is what's happening in the world at the moment, thankfully. But here's my worry. I'm going to explain this and I'm going to say what my worry is. Psilocybin now is coming up again. Canada, there is a ton of places now where you can go and buy shares and you can buy all of this stuff. I mean, we talked about Bitcoin and shares. I'm interested in all of that stuff. And I was looking to buy some in these psilocybin companies. And something, I just couldn't find a place to do it. And something just said to me, don't do it. So I was like, okay, why? And then I got the vision that what's going to happen, which as soon as I got the vision, I went, all right, I'm going to sit with it and see what happens. And I started to see now every pharmaceutical company, every big corporate are starting to, to start pumping money into psilocybin. So what are they going to do? They're going to do the same thing that they do with everything else. They're going to ruin it. They're going to bastardize it, and then they're going to blame it for it. And then they're going to start using that as another way to continue medicating healthy people. And this is the thing for me where I'm like, oh man. So what do I need to do? What do we need to do? The people that do this work, what do we need to do? Stay in the same place. Even as we grow, our tribe grows, the people that we work with, as we continue to work with more and more people, stay small in that way. Do you know what I mean? Don't bastardize what we do. Really stay focused on the true purpose, the true meaning of what we're doing. Because they've done research previously in the 70s, the huge guys that will come, men and women that were coming up, and doing all of this research. They did 20, 30 years worth of research. And then Nixon came in and just, bastardized the whole thing, demonized it, said it was bad. Because there were, there is in everything. There were a couple of people who just experienced it and they take the experience a little bit too far. But that was just their experience. So, but what happens and what I've seen is as soon as people start losing control, which means people in the government, people who, who are in control of, these big companies and, they want to hold control of everything and they want to keep everybody dumbed down. It's all about the money, because they started to read the researches, and the researchers were saying when people who were coming in for therapy, or even people who were against it, people who were fighting against therapy, there is a name for it. Lucy knows exactly what it is. There is a terminology that they use with certain individuals that are very pro. They just, it's very hard for them to get the healing and the release that they need. They came and did psilocybin and other medicines, and they did the therapy with them. 5 sessions it took for these people to overcome their traumas, depression, stress, anxiety, PTSD, you name it. 5 sessions for them to go back to a normal life. For most, gone. 5 sessions. And the interviewer asked the question, so why did it stop? Money. It doesn't make enough money. So my question now is, so why the hell are they jumping on it now? Because if that's the case, well, it's not for money. So what is it for?
To control.
Exactly that. And
Control.
that's the bit which, you know, I'm keeping my, you know, my eyes out on this stuff.
Like Terence McKenna said, they don't want you to have it because it opens your mind and it expands your consciousness so much they can't control you.
They can't, exactly. But here's my question, right? And if, you know, the Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg's or Anthony Fauci or, you know, Boris Johnson, who, you know, if you guys can listen to this and pick up on the words, and if you ever listen to this, here's my question for you. Why? Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to control people? That's my understanding, because here's the thing. It doesn't come from a place of unconditional love. It doesn't come from a place of growth. It comes from a place of fear, ego, greed. So how does that benefit you? Because, okay, you have all this money and you're, you know, the top of the top of the top.
Great question.
But surely you must understand this, and surely they do. They understand that they have this connection to understand that we are higher beings. They know this stuff. I know this for a fact. Yeah. They understand this. But my question again, what is the purpose?
Because if the purpose, dumbing people down.
What's the purpose of control?
Yeah. Surely, if the whole world was in a higher vibration and in a place of love, and there was none of this fear shit that's going on, surely the world would be a better place.
Not just that.
There'd be more economy. There'd be more trading. Everyone would be happy. Everyone would be. What is this thing of dumbing people down to control them?
Why? That's my question. That's always been my question. And if I ever get to sit with them, that's what I'm going to ask. Why? What's the purpose? I would love to go to these world forums and sit and actually speak to these people on a one-to-one on a level, from a place of just interest, because it really intrigues me. Why? I don't understand. Because obviously I think from a different place.
Yeah.
And I think from a place of, we live in a planet that grows. We live in a planet that expands. We live in a place that constantly evolves. So there is no such thing as scarcity. There is no such thing as fear, ego, control. There is no need for any of that.
No.
So what I don't understand is why are you trying to control individuals? Because it serves zero purpose other than boosting your own ego, which is temporary, because all they do now is they go from one thing to another to another. And look at history. History repeats itself. Take this back to ancient times. And look at ancient times, you know, and then look at Roman times, and then look at, you know, the time of, you know, the Vikings, kings and queens. You know, look at all of these times. Look at World War I, II. Look at the timeline. Has it been successful? No. It's never been successful.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So that's always my question, is why? It makes no sense. But as you said, if we were to all come together as a worldwide nation, wipe out this bullshit thing of starvation and, you know, people trying to kill each other and all this domination, dude, these pharmaceutical companies, these, you know, the tech businesses, you know, all of the companies around the world. And I've seen this when I had that. This is
the new 5D Earth.
This is it. And I've seen it, and I'm thinking, like, I can't wrap my brain around it. And I'm answering my own question now, because I know the answer. I know the answer. But I understand that what's happening now. So here's the answer.
It's perfect.
I answered my own question. The reason this is happening now is the shift that is currently happening. The 3D to 5D to 6D to 7, 8, 9. So these are all the ones that we're going through now. So we're currently moving into this. And people are going to move into it. Even these people, you're either move into it voluntarily or forcefully. You're going to move into it.
You have to.
You have to.
The energy is pouring into the earth at such high vibrations, the highest the earth has ever been. And
it's happening.
It cannot shake people up. This is why people are feeling ill at the moment. They're feeling tired, lethargic, whatever it may be, because bodies are just, some people's bodies are just not prepared for the energies.
No.
So now all of a sudden people think they're sick.
Yeah.
And what do they go and do? We know.
Yeah.
So,
this is it. Yeah.
And it's
and
not
the repercussions of it, you know, as we've seen, has been, you know, more destruction, more death, more illnesses, you know, and this will, unfortunately, this is the part that really breaks my heart.
Yeah, me
that
too.
I am having to work through, is the part where I have to watch my brothers and sisters go through, destroy the very thing that keeps them alive, you know, destroy the very vessel that is here to create and co-create. That's the thing. We're here to co-create.
Yes.
You're not here to selfishly create, right? We're here to co-create. So that's the part for me that, you know, I've been struggling with. I'm coming over this part because of everything that's happening and the downloads and the upgrades and everything that I'm receiving at the moment. I'm starting to kind of get through that part and understand this is the part that really hurts me, that, and everybody knows this, we all come here unknowingly, that we all have that purpose. So where I've made peace with it is understand that the people who are going through this, the ones who are getting vaccinated, the ones who are having to wear the masks, they're doing it because it's their journey. It's their journey and their journey. So listen to this, because I know there will be a lot of people who will listen to this. Have compassion and tolerance for them, because they are saving you. Have tolerance and compassion for these people, because they are saving you.
Yeah, there's all these people out there, they're fighting, arguing. Why? Don't. You waste, one, you're wasting energy. Two, you're lowering your energy as well. And three, that's their journey, that's their path. We're not here to judge anyone, and that is what unconditional love is. It's no judgment.
Yeah,
we can't come from a place of judgment. Whatever someone wants to do, they want to do. And I actually got this channeled the other day, and I had to put it out. It was like, stop fighting with one another. Just be, allow, surrender, and raise your focus on you and raising your vibration. That's all that matters. If you raise your vibration and you're in a place of unconditional love for everything and everyone, all of a sudden, this is how the world is just going to go.
And that's where the evolution. And I started to kind of understand that. I've had to sort of make peace with it, because that's why last week I was so angry, about this whole situation, these lockdowns and all of these things that have been happening. But also, it's not just happening to us, it's also happening to them, the people who are enforcing these things. They have that choice too. We all have a choice. And the choice is this. The choice is simple. You either go with it or you go against it. But one way or another, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Look at the timelines. All you have to do is look at the timelines. Look at the timelines every single time. And every single time, what rose to the top is the cream, is the unconditional love. It's the people who are here to support, to help, to nourish others, or to nurture, and this is what will continue happening, until we all learn. And again, it's something that I will show is, we will get to that place where eventually we will all succeed. You know what I mean? We will all get to that place where we will reach such a high level of consciousness that this experience will be over.
Yeah. And then we'll look back at this experience and see the spiritual growth that it give us.
Yeah.
And we'll be so great, and people will be so grateful.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I remember I fell to my knees here on this floor. And I remember I fell to my knees after that big dose when I went on my own journey. And it was on a Monday. We did a breath work and, just did some breathing. And I just had this, I was just shown, and I just went, oh my God. Oh, wow. And even now it makes me emotional, because I was like, oh, wow, is that what's going to happen? And they're like, yeah, that's it. So don't worry. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So
just
focus in on your journey, your daily spiritual practice. The more you work for your ascension process now, the better it's going to be at the end.
Yeah, and not just for you, for your children, their children, and and then the ones who will go and come back, and this is the beautiful thing, is that we will continue to kind of go through this. But the beautiful thing about it now is we're going into such that next level of ascension, that the new souls that are coming through, the new the new breed, the babies, all of the new babies that are coming through in our groups, and and around the world, they are the ones who are going to have a huge continuous impact with this stuff, which is why it's important that we do this, so they get to that point where they're already there, and then their children are already at that next level, the next level, the next level. And this is it. And it won't take long.
No,
Yeah,
a couple of generations, and that's it.
And this is it. And the thing is, mate, this world, is just, even in our lifetime, like the things that we're going to experience, the things that we're going to see, it's just going to be beautiful. It's just going to be absolutely beautiful.
It's truly divine.
It really is. Yeah. It really, really is. And the thing about it, what I always say to people is, don't just partially unplug yourself. Unplug. Like, just let go. Let go of it. I even see it in sometimes in some of our groups, people still posting stuff. People are still worried about it. People are still fearful. Yeah. And I said to Luce the other day, I was just like, I just don't even care anymore. I just literally was just like, I don't care.
No, in one of my groups, I've banned it. Yeah. So it's not allowed to be spoken in there. Like, get on with the focus on your ascension, not on that.
On that, yeah. This is it,
Again, it's that negative energy, or that what we was talking about earlier. You can either choose to be here, or you can choose to be here. Which one would you rather be?
This is it. Yeah, exactly.
It's a choice. It's a simple choice.
Yeah, and which is what I said earlier, is, if you're going to go on this journey, go fully. Just trust the process. You will be okay. I'm telling you, you will be okay.
I'm telling you too, you will be okay.
You will be okay. Like, trust the process. You don't have to trust me. Trust you. Connect with that fully. Go in it. Immerse yourself 110%. You will not fail. You will not be failed. There is no such thing.
You are highly supported and guided with every single step you take. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love it. Right, okay, so we've spoke about 2.5 hours. I love it. Just quickly, just before we wrap up, tell us a little bit about your company's Breathe to Succeed, Happy as Larry Group. What are you doing? What's your plans, your vision to go out and inspire and develop more people?
Yeah, sure. So Breathe to Succeed, is something that I've just recently came up with. So it's Lucy and I. It's the work that we do with the breath work, the medicine, and the healing. So we take people on that journey, and we created this separate. I guess it will become a division within the business. I don't know. I'm sure I'll be shown, but it's just something I was inspired to create, and and now to start to develop. And what I want to do is to continue working with people, is to work with you, and bring, experts in breathwork, healing, meditation, yoga, whatever it may be, and start to co-create with individuals, so that we can reach more and more people. And that's our purpose. Our purpose goes back to our mission statement with Happy as Larry Group, which is helping to save the world one person at a time. That's the goal. And Happy as Larry Group is a wellness company. We're a well-being company. We specialize in mental health and addiction. Lucy comes from a place of, psychotherapy. She's got a master's in addiction therapy and psychology, also specializing in mental illness. And I come from the place of, from a more of a coaching and mentoring perspective, coming in and then helping people. So Lucy comes in from a place of helping people to uncover and discover the things that need to be worked at. And once we get into that place of healing, I then take them to the next level, which is then discovering self and really becoming, that next version.
Yeah, perfect. Amazing. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to book appointments or talk to you?
Yeah, so you can go to breathetosucceeduk.co.uk or happyaslarrygroup.com. You can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube. So our YouTube channel is Happy as Larry Group. You can find us on YouTube. We do videos there, like free content to help people. And you can find us on our website or the social media. You can literally just go on there.
I'll put if you send all the links over to me,
Sure.
I'll put them in the description of the video as well, so people can connect with you.
Yeah, perfect.
But what a beautiful chat!
I loved it.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's going to be the first of many as well. Same with the breathwork.
Oh, 100%, man. We've got some beautiful stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you want to come on for another session with breathwork, maybe we could do next week if you want.
Yeah.
If you're up for that.
Yeah,
be cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
And we'll go from there. But yes, thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Keep an eye out for Alex and Lucy coming back on soon. Yeah. And we wish you all lots of love and respect.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. See you later.